Well, good morning. Today is Thursday, January the 21st, and it's my pleasure to bring the most recent update for the city of Belleville as we deal with these COVID-19 times. And today's announcement from Hastings and Prince Edward Health Unit have not come out yet. It'll come out later this afternoon, but as of yesterday, we had a total of 26 active cases in our region, which is a decrease slightly of what we've been having. So we do have one person in hospital, and it talks about, that tells us about how this is very serious still, and we have to be very, very careful. But it is a good sign for us as we deal with our current numbers and the restrictions that are in place that are scheduled. This current provincial-wide stay-at-home order is scheduled to stay in effect until February the 11th. So we'll wait for some more information. Today's video is on Dundas Street and right in front of the Westgate Lodge. This is a very important place for Belleville because this is where our first vaccinations took place this past Sunday when 13 staff members and 66 residents were vaccinated with their first dosage of the COVID-19 vaccine. So this is the Pfizer vaccine, which is the one that has to be stored at very, very cold temperatures. But this was the first vaccinations that occurred locally. That's phenomenal news for our community because, as we know, the vaccine is going to allow us to get back to normal. This phase of the provincial rollout of the vaccinations are going to be for long-term care residents, employees at long-term care facilities, as well as medical employees, because in the springtime, when we first dealt with COVID, that's where we found the most severe impacts and the most fatalities. So once we get through this initial stage, then we will be looking at having a more wider rollout in March or April, where the general public will be vaccinated, and we hope to get that done as soon as possible. So I wanted to be here today to celebrate Westgate Lodge and the Prince Edward Hastings Health Unit, as well as the staff here for having that happen. Schools are going back into session on Monday next week. So there are 7 regions in Ontario that have been given permission for about 100,000 students to go back to school. And I know that this is an exciting time for a lot of kids that are really looking forward to going back to seeing their friends and their teachers, although in a masked environment and with safety protocols, but they're excited about going back to school. And I know there are a lot of parents that are going to be very excited about having their kids go back to school. So I just ask everyone, like we normally do in the spring, in the fall time when back to school occurs, let's remember that there will be school buses in our community, and we need to stop when they have when they're letting kids on and off the bus. Let's make sure that we're aware of school crossings in the city and community safety zones so that we make sure those kids are safe. And let's remember that some kids are just going to be really, really excited. And so kids that are excited don't always do what we expect them to. So slow down, give them a break, make sure that we're aware in those areas, and let's get through this as safely as we can. Now, the stay-at-home direction from the province is still in effect, and essential services are the only ones that are allowed to be open. Businesses that can remain open for curbside service are doing so. And as I said earlier, our expectation is that stays in effect until February the 11th, and we're waiting for more information from the province of Ontario. A little bit of council meeting news, just to do a quick update. Yesterday, we had a special council meeting to consider a report from a committee that was tasked with reviewing applications for the vacant councillor seat. There were 19 applications received. 3 of those applicants had run in previous elections, but the others were all brand new. They were really a great, diverse crowd of people. And council decided not to approve the recommendation from that committee. And we are going to be dealing with a reconsideration item on Monday, on the 25th, at that council meeting, to consider the person who ran in the last election and finished 7th in Ward 1. And I expect that to pass and Tyler Alsap to be appointed. But we will have to wait and see how that meeting unfolds on Monday. I have stated my public intentions that I will support the reconsideration motion, and I will also vote for Mr. Alsap to become the replacement councillor. But I am also very, very grateful to everybody that applied, that had interest. I think it's really great to see the diversity of people that step forward, and I hope that they stay involved and they run in future elections. We'll also on Monday be dealing with something called the open air bylaw, and this is for burning of material. So, I know a lot of folks like to have uh, campfires, or if you're particularly in rural parts of our community, you burn things in your backyard. And we are considering change to all of the open air burning bylaw, and that comes back to council on Monday. And I'll just remind everybody that if you are eligible to burn on your property, you can do that until we make a decision on that bylaw. But it is coming back to council on Monday. Also, some great news that the subdivision agreement for Parkville Greens, the phase 1 of that new residential facility, is coming forward. I expect council to approve that. This is the subdivision that used to be part of the old plans for Hanley Estates, east of Hague Road, between Victoria and Bridge. This is an exciting new residential development that's coming forward, and we're looking forward to that and many more areas of the city where we're seeing construction. Here is a photo of myself making a contribution, or on behalf of the city, presenting our donation to Grace Inn. Grace Inn Homeless Shelter is on Church Street in Belleville, and we're glad to have it. This donation is for $50,000, and this brings us now to $148,000 in total amount of money that we provided Grace Inn, and we're scheduled to give them another $50,000 in 2022, and we appreciate the work that they are doing. Last week, I was pleased to join the Chamber of Commerce and Crime Stoppers as we recognized 9 winners of the Home for the Holidays contest. COVID made a lot of things different this year for Christmas, and we all tried our very best to maintain the holiday spirit, not just the city, but also much of residents. And here is the list of residents that were successful. They each got a couple $100 as a prize from the city. And then they shared all that joy, the joy of the holiday season and the lights. And I'm really grateful to the Chamber of Commerce for organizing that activity, Crime Stoppers for also supporting some prizing, and for everybody who participated. And the last thing that I just want to say is that, again, we've talked about this from the very beginning, and we're seeing our efforts with respect to preventing the spread of COVID working. Our numbers are very good again, so let's remember to wash our hands. Let's socially distance. Where you cannot socially distance, and when you're indoors, wear a mask. The second lockdown period for Ontario is hard. I know a lot of businesses are struggling, but we can do more things than we did in the spring. So let's get outside and let's exercise our bodies and our minds, have a chance to enjoy these unseasonably warm temperatures. We haven't really had some super cold temperatures yet, but let's continue to enjoy it, our beautiful winter climate, and take care of ourselves. And until next week, when I give another update for the City of Belleville, thank you for tuning in.